This is a diary entry I wrote after getting my Reiki certifications. This was in 2018. It's written 10th October 2018. So I've explained something about my hands being extremely sweaty, which has always been the case. I have hyperhidrosis of my hands, and I found out after learning Reiki that it was because of these excessive energies that wanted to flow through my hands outward, and my hands were always extremely hot, and that was the reason that they used to sweat like crazy. There used to be drops of sweat falling from my hands most of the time. And so it was my guru, my teacher Shantima, who told me this fact. And I'll not go over all of that, but I will start where I'm writing about my teacher. So here it goes. No, I don't suffer from hyperthyroidism. I got it checked. It's all fine. What I suffered from was disuse of the vast energies that yearned to flow through me. I was unaware until recently when I met my Guruji, Shantima. She is an angel in disguise, a German lady who moved to the USA and later settled in Rishikesh, India. When she met her own Guruji, she is an epitome of peace. Love radiates from her being. You feel happy just by being in her divine presence. That is so true. I arrived at her house earlier than I was ought to with my husband. We had no place to crash, so we decided to have a word with Shantima before deciding to head to our hotel for the day. Because our hotel check-in was still 2 hours away, so she was in the middle of a meditation session when I probably disturbed her. Oops, not a very good first impression, I thought. I returned after an hour after she called me to come. I don't clearly remember where our conversation started. The first question I remember she asked me was, how did you come into healing? I explained about my spiritual journey so far and how I discovered the truth during my past life regression therapy training. My husband went on to brief her about our lives and the recent events that had unfolded. She was very much empathetic towards us. Soon her students arrived. It was time to resume her class. But my husband started a conversation with one of the students. They discovered they had a lot in common and became good friends instantly. We left them to continue their class and went to our hotel. I returned to her a day after to start with my Reiki Level 1 class. 2 more people had to join, but while talking she came to know that she misunderstood that I'm already at Level 2 and came here to learn Level 3. She had to cancel the others because of me. That felt bad. I apologized, but she replied, "Don't worry about that. When you are meant to do something, everything else falls into place." So there I was, waiting to start my Reiki Level 1 class, one-on-one, instead of a group class, She is quite elderly. I was surprised to see that she lives alone, managing the house, students, events, and everything else. We got into some personal talks about our lives. I already knew about her thanks to Google. We must have been heart to heart for about an hour and a half before she announced to start. She treaded towards her table and gently picked up a thick folder and came back to her divan, which is like a bed that is placed in the living room. She opened her notes and asked about my knowledge of Reiki. She then proceeded to tell me the theory of Reiki, the history and how it happens, how it's done, etc. Then it was time for my first initiation. I was so excited about it. It was an event I highly anticipated, for it was going to be heavenly. She played a Yog Nidra audio recorded in her own voice on a Bluetooth speaker. All I had to do was relax on the chair. It was the moment she placed her hands on my head that I felt a warm, loving waterfall of energy fall from her hands inside my head, all through my brain, purifying it, falling into my spine, and then slowly and gently disappearing near my lower back. A wave of relaxation followed. She did her thing to all the chakras of my body. My eyes were closed and I was floating on the clouds, feeling so much love and warmth as if I was in the lap of God. She asked about my experience. When I came back to human senses, I was short of words. We had extended discussions about so many things, and I was delighted to know that she was so humble. We learned a lot from each other that day. Now it was time for a Reiki session for me, but after a large cup of her herbal tea. I was lying on the bed. She proceeded to explain what she is doing and then walked me through it, all the steps. At first, I was paying attention, but soon I melted into the warm, loving energy she was giving to my being. I fell into a deep trance, almost but not asleep. The music faded into silence. Images started racing my mind like a time lapse, but I must let them pass without thinking. It was an extremely deep relaxation. Soon I realized she has reached my feet when the flow of Reiki made my leg twitch. When she was done, I forced myself to be awake. I didn't want to sleep in the class. After lunch, we brushed up on all the hand positions and practiced Reiki on ourselves. It was as relaxing as the first session. My concentration was completely on my hands and the visualization. When we were done with the feet, she asked me to feel the Reiki energy or the key in my hands. Slowly and slowly, I brought my now hot hands together until they were about 5 inches apart. And I couldn't close them any further. I couldn't believe I was actually feeling the key like a warm magnetic ball in my hands. It wasn't allowing me to close my hands, no matter how much I tried. I didn't want to lose this feeling, so I didn't try to squish it. It was pushing my fingers open if I tried it. Finally, it was time to close our aura and return. The sun was setting. It was getting dark as we once again steered into prolonged, deep conversations. Day 2 was the final day. We began with another initiation. It was my turn to perform, but first, another large cup of her special herbal tea. It made me pee a lot. I think it was thoroughly cleansing. It began with self-protection and invocation. As I began channeling Reiki on her front side, I connected with the heart chakra, and boy, I could feel it. She exclaimed too. She was very encouraging throughout. I don't know if it was actually good, but she affirmed that the flow in my hands is very powerful, unlike majority of the people. Given this is my first time giving Reiki, I completed it in an hour or so. It was very easy focusing on my thoughts when I was around her. As it ended, she pointed to some areas that needed more, but I wasn't able to tell, since it was my first time. We engaged in some more conversations about me, my husband, her, while sipping our remaining tea. After lunch break, she started the final initiation, which included blocking the channel open so that it remains open forever after that. Tea again. Now it was time for me to treat the back of her body. Again, she was so encouraging throughout. My doubt about myself vanished after I closed her aura, and she said that she could feel exactly where my hands were, despite me not touching her. She taught me a few more things out of context, like chakra balancing, pendulum dowsing. Now when I look back, they were perfectly in context. It was time to end the wonderful 2 days of class. She gave me some precautions and narrated some of her stories as an example. She went on to gift me a top that her friend had given her. It didn't fit her, but she thought it would look good on me. I took it because I wanted to keep a token of my guru with me. It was full of her love. Now I don't remember this at all, and what is the top that she gave me? I don't even remember that. She is an elderly woman who has traveled the world, met so many people, has a plethora of knowledge, yet I failed to spot a speck of pride inside her. Whenever I told her something new about technology, she would be in awe and be surprised like a small child discovering the world for the first time. She is the first person to clarify the reason of the flow of incessant extreme heat from my hands. That was blocked flow of Reiki. She said I must be practicing some kind of energy work in my previous lives. Yes, I noticed my hands are dry now. They only sweat when I skip giving myself Reiki. She told me that people have tiny torches of energy where their heart is. Tiny or small, elongated, crooked pipes kind of light. What I have in my chest is a whole area of light. The light fills whole of my chest. I got a little emotional to hear this. As I keep suffering in life, being portrayed by situations as the wrongdoer, when I'm actually full of love and care for all. I never want to do anything wrong to anyone. Even after my own people have rejected me, I still have no hate. I still want to radiate goodness and help anyone I can. Finally, it was time to part. We exchanged some formalities and said goodbye slowly. She hugged me once again, just like she did on the first time. A long and motherly hug. I felt the God assured me that no matter what happens to me, I still have this kind of godly love with me. It was the universe embracing me in the joy of finding my true calling and returning home. Congratulations, you are a light worker, she said and let me go. I went back lightheaded and discussed everything with my husband. I'm grateful to have someone who doesn't call me mad to pursue these things. I treated him with Reiki and he too fell asleep after a deep relaxation. Next morning, as we were heading to the bus stand, while approaching the corner of our hotel's street, suddenly a visual of Shanti Ma walking down the street flashed into my mind. I thought it would be so great if I meet her on the street one last time before going back. I didn't even finish the sentence in my mind yet when my husband exclaimed in joy, "Shanti Ma!" I rushed around to the corner to see her walking down the street towards me. Was I dreaming? No, it was unbelievable that I had developed such a connection to her in 2 days, that I got to know before I saw her that she was coming. It was amazing. She hugged us again and we parted ways once more. I was feeling full in my heart and soul. This is what I am meant for. I always knew it. Nobody ever believed me. The next thing I wrote is called The Unseen Dimensions. So stay tuned for the next video.